Before we begin the lesson, let's just take a few moments and go within. So I invite you to firmly plant your feet on the floor so you are anchored with Mother Earth. Close your outer eyes so that your inner eyes might see better. And breathe deeply. In each inhale, breathing in the light and love that is God. And on the exhale, release any distress you might be feeling in your body, in your thoughts, your emotions. You are healed. You are healthy. You are free. Embrace that. Allow that to fill your senses, fill your emotions. I am free, I am healthy. I am blessed. I was reminded yesterday that for every question, love is the answer. So I invite you to bring to mind any questions you might have. And know that the answer is love. If there's any disturbance in your world right now, whether it's with an individual or a situation, and you don't quite know how to resolve it, bring it to mind now and simply love it. Love him, love her. Whatever the question, love is the answer. So I invite you to look within and love yourself. Love yourself with all your human hiccups and burps and just love yourself. Love yourself so that you may love your neighbor. Love yourself so that you may love your God. You are whole. You are free. You are unlimited. And you are love. Let us take that love now and radiate it out to bless everyone within these sanctuary walls. And because you are powerful beyond measure, radiate that love even farther. To bless Bullhead City and Laughlin. To bless this beautiful state of Arizona. And again, because you are powerful beyond measure, radiate that love to bless our country and everyone within its borders. And then crossing borders, crossing oceans. Let us bless the people of the world. And shower upon them your love. And know that in this loving shower, you are bringing hope and light in someone's world, in someone's life. So as we return to this time in this place, as you slowly open your eyes, know that you are making a difference. Know that you are love, you are loved, and you are the beloved. And so it is. Okay, I have a script here. All right. And she watched with admiration and yearning as her 10-year-old sister jumped up and reached that branch and shimmied up and sat there looking down at her 6-year-old sister saying, "Hey, why don't you come up?" But she couldn't. She couldn't reach that first branch. She was lacking like 12 inches. 12 inches, and maybe she could have hauled her little 6-year-old body up that tree, at least to that first branch. And she really, really wanted to see what it would be like to be up there, so much higher than her little 6-year-old body. And she pondered, how can I do that? Have you ever been in a situation like that where you have yearned for something and you wanted it so badly? And how am I going to do it, get it? And you can't think of what to do. Well, it's interesting when we have a challenge or an opportunity. Sometimes things we hadn't noticed before become evident. Because that 6-year-old little girl, who, yes, was me, realized that flagstone that was lying in the weeds, that was left over from laying the walkway to the house, might be perfect. So she dragged that over, leaned it up against the tree, and it was 16 inches long. Just enough to make up for that 12 inches that was lacking, and also enough that I could put my hand around that first branch, the lowest branch on the tree. And I did, and I shimmied my feet up, and I got my leg over that branch, and then inched over, pushing and pulling, until there I was sitting on that first branch. And then guess what I did? No. No, I did not fall out. I sat there, just waving my feet, celebrating. Look at me. I made it. And over the next few weeks, every day I would get up onto that first branch, and then I said, okay, I'm going to do the next branch, and the next, and the next. And I thought, I wonder if I can get up to the very top. So maybe I can reach up and touch the sky. You know, and I was remembering the tree climbing, and to me it's a no-brainer. Anybody climbed trees when you were a kid? Who still climbs trees?
Palm trees.
Yeah, palm trees. Well, this was a maple tree. And, you know, thinking back, I said, well, it's no big deal. So what? I climbed a tree. A lot of people climb a tree. About 2/3 of you have indicated you've climbed a tree before. And thank you, you weren't, you know, I was asking a few people recently, I said, have you ever climbed a tree? And they said, why would I do that? But then I realized that really got me started onto really knowing that I could do the impossible. I mean, that last 12 inches, I could do that if I just opened up my mind to the possibilities around me, the things that already existed. So have you ever had a moment where you wanted to touch the sky? Where you wanted to reach up and you weren't quite sure how to do it? I saw one hand go up. Okay. You know, and the desire or the dream that might be touch the sky for you, I mean, it could be finding an amazing life partner to raise children with. It could be getting out of poverty to live a prosperous life. Or maybe a Hawaiian cruise. Or perhaps I just want to live a life filled with joy. You know, my mother had a touch the sky moment when she got the hell out of Brooklyn. She said one of the reasons she married my father was because she knew that with him, that would happen. And so we got, she and my father, my brother and sister, older brother and sister, moved to upstate New York, a little town called Ithaca. And they had to do that so I could stand there at the base of that tree and look up with longing and learn one of my first lessons in overcoming and achievement. There were 3 maple trees out by the road, and slowly I conquered each of the trees as I got older and stronger. And that's how we keep overcoming as we grow up, isn't it? Or as we move forward on our path. And I remember being up that last tree, and I had to be tall enough to jump up and grab the branch and pull myself over it and walk up the branch to the trunk of the tree. So that was my great, great accomplishment. And if you'd been looking up, walking down the road, you would have seen a rag at the very top of that tree, because I wanted to be able to look up and see what I had accomplished. You know, up where the trunk was so thin it would sway in the breeze, and I could look out over my world, across the valley. It was my world. And you know, I could fly too. I had this image that I could fly. No, I didn't jump off the tree. And you know, these were those, look ma moments. But I never did that, because if my mother had looked up and seen me, that would have ended my tree climbing career. And there's something beautiful about a touch the sky dream. I mean, it's powerful, right? It's compelling. And it sends a signal out to the universe to rush to you all of the resources you need so that you can touch the sky, so that you can achieve your dream. But first you have to send out the signal. And you don't need to know how at first. I think too many of us, I'm one of them, every now and then I get caught up in how am I going to do that? But you don't have to know how. All you have to know is the what. All you have to do is be clear on your dream. You need the desire. And if you're passionate also, that's even better. Because the resources are going to come to you faster. You become a powerful magnet. And the universe must respond. It has no choice. It's not if, it's just when. You know, the resource might simply be a new idea, or recognizing something that would help you that you've been walking by all the time, like that flagstone in the weeds. I got way ahead of myself. What am I going to say next? Tell me that. But you know what happens with a dream? And I bet this has happened to every one of you because you are human. Somebody's going to tell you you can't do it or you shouldn't do it. It's like if my mother had known my tree climbing, this is back when you had free range children and we're not being looked at all the time. So I just kind of, you know, as long as I showed up back home at the appointed time, I was good. So my mother could have should all over me. And, you know, it's interesting, the people who tell you you shouldn't or can't are often the ones who love you and want the best for you. You know, your parents, they're going to be overprotective sometimes. You know, being the youngest child, my brother and sister wore my parents down enough that I didn't have quite as many restrictions. But people are going to tell you, and it's going to get embedded. You're not smart enough. You don't have enough money. You don't belong. You never get things right. You have others, don't you? I know you do. And I'm so grateful for the memory of the maple tree. Because that had a lot of those self-limiting inputs. And then there was the bullying from when I was a child. And the bullying actually from my teachers, possibly. Oh, Miss Sodden, I'll tell you, second grade, oh my goodness. I almost lived in the principal's office. And I didn't do anything wrong. I just did things differently. And what I learned, as I grew up, I learned how to defend myself with my words. Because physically, you know, some of the people bullying me, I couldn't beat them. But I could take them down with my words, and I got very good at it. So I have this defense mechanism from adolescence that I took into adulthood, where it no longer served me. And slowly, I learned a new way of being in the world. It's the way of being that we teach in unity. It is the way of love. It is the way of peace. It is the way of overcoming through spirit. I'm amazed sometimes people say, well, you're so loving, Sophia, or you're so peaceful. And I'm thinking, no, I'm not. Because I still remember who I was and how I showed up in the world years ago. But there is a way out. You know, there is that touch the sky moment over and over again. I know I was going to offer a workshop to an older group. I mean, not like you youngsters. And I said, well, how about I talk to them about writing a book? And I was told, oh, absolutely not. These people, they're past all of that. And I'm thinking, well, I'm writing a book. I wrote a book. People write memoirs. By the way, everybody write a memoir because there is so much missing that your children and grandchildren need to know. And so I did something else. But I really wanted to talk about writing books. Because I recognize that no matter what your age, you still are going to have touch the sky moments. Moments when there's something that germinates in your mind. You have that inspiration from spirit, and you so want to do it. And the thing is, we never stop growing. And if we do, why bother living? I can't imagine not having dreams. I can't imagine not having aspirations, goals. Because I still want to touch the sky. So have you had touch the sky moments in your life? Yeah? Do you still want more touch the sky moments in your life? Yeah. To me, you touch the sky when you had a compelling magnetic, high vibration, desire or dream. High vibration. If we had an hour, I could tell you some examples from my life. Just know that it works. When no matter what you do wrong, or it doesn't make sense, the resources are there for you, and you will overcome, you will achieve. When, you have a touch the sky moment when you establish one branch at a time goals and celebrate every branch. I'm guilty of, okay, I did it next, done next. And I have to keep reminding myself to pause and celebrate. Look, Ma, what I did. Now you have the touch of the sky moment when you raise your vibration to attract fresh ideas and unforeseen resources. Perhaps as humble as my 16-inch flagstone. And you took action and gained confidence, both physically, mentally, emotionally. Climbing that tree, every branch strengthened me. Exhilarated me, made me want more. And you raised your vibration to the level of that person who has already achieved that dream. That's when you have touch the sky moments. All right, so. Are you ready, as individuals, as a community, to reach up and touch the sky? May each of you continue in life remembering you have greatness in you. I see it. I see you. You are amazing. And you too can reach up and touch the sky. And so it is.